Okay, my dear Greg Saunders.
Gregory.
Eagle looking great, you're go.
And we're rolling, Gregory.
Greg Saunders.
Wow. Hey, great.
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, 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 welcome to the Saturday Morning Stateline Show. Hey, the closest most of us will ever get to hunting our own food, tracking our food delivery order status. I'm Greg. Tom's on his way. It's your Saturday Morning Stateline Show, the 21st day of January, the year 2023, the latest it has ever been in the history of mankind. Usually Tom says that part, but he is on his way home from his morning duties, and we'll be logging on here shortly. Yeah, it's feeling January-ish. Where's the snow, right? Is anyone found what happened to all our poor Alpine Hills Park here in Rockford has had a tough time staying open because there's no snow. They make their own snow, but it's kind of hard to keep the snow when it rains. And all this rain that we've had this last week caused some issues with that situation. And yeah, so I know there's a lot of us not missing the snow, and I get that. It's a pain to shovel, right? It's not always fun to have to deal with large amounts of it. But can you admit you miss it a little bit? Maybe just a little bit? Maybe put in the chat your thoughts about snow today. I'm going to put some other stuff in the chat here too. I've got a link for you to check out later on. But first, even without Tom, we're going to go ahead and give you our big number of the week. And it is a big number. This week's big number of the week is 1.7 million. And the answer is crisis or continent. Crisis or continent. Post your guess in the chat. Currently, in our race to 10, it's a close match this time. Tom's got 2, Joann's got 3 in this current race to 10. Last time, if you were following along at the end of last year, Tom was way ahead. I think at one point the score was like 7-2. It looked like it was going to be a complete blowout. And then Joann came back and won. Absolutely stunning victory by Joann in our last race to 10. This one, a little bit more neck and neck this time. So again, share your comments in the chat. We'd love to have you there. It is an INCROWD week, so we are planning to talk with John Berlin and this month's host for INCROWD Networking Group, the friendliest networking group you're ever going to meet. We're meeting this month at the Mauer Real Estate office on Perryville. We'll give you more details on that here coming up. If you've ever given thought to doing a live stream yourself, if you've ever looked at this thing that I'm doing here and you thought maybe this might be something you'd want to do, Restream reminds you that you can use live videos for all kinds of online events, whether it's a concert that you have permission to Restream, charity fundraisers, any other kind of event that you got going on. You can use the Restream platform for it. And a lot of it's actually quite free. Some of it you do need to pay for depending on how much service you need to support it. But I encourage you to check out Restream's webpage. If you want to start making live videos this year and you're not quite sure how, check out Restream's Complete Beginner's Guide to Live Streaming. The link is in the chat. And when we first took our show online 100%, of course, it was the COVID furloughs of March 2020. It's hard to believe that's been almost 3 years ago already. And I'm kind of mind boggled where the last 3 years of time went. But in March of 2020, when all of Town Square Media decided to furlough all of their weekenders, which included our show, we were told we'd probably be back in a couple of months. And here we are 3 years later. And will we ever go back to radio? I don't 100% know. There are days when I would say definitely not. And then there are other days when I'm like, maybe it's we're ready to go back. Who knows? We'll see where this goes. But when we went to furloughed status and Tom and I wanted to keep doing our show in one way, shape, or form, we took everything to Facebook Live. So from March of 2020 until basically, I believe it was January of 2021, we only used Facebook Live and the Zoom platform to webcast our show. And it was fine. Everything was okay. It worked just fine. But after realizing this was going to be a longer haul than just a few months, it was like, okay, maybe we need to start doing something that's going to have a little bit more lasting effect. So we took the show to YouTube, and that went well for most of 2021. We were pretty much mostly exclusive on YouTube. And then this Restream platform came along. And I had been encouraged to look at it earlier, and I kind of glanced at it and I thought, whatever. I'm not sure if I want to get involved with that and switch platforms again. But then we took a closer look at it and realized the opportunity of clicking one button and being on multiple platforms just like that. So now when we click the Go Live button, we go to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and our link goes straight to Twitter to tell people we're online now. And then Tom shows up and says, "What's up, dude?"
Oh, nothing much. Oh, the latest it's ever been in the history of mankind. There you go.
I took the liberty of completing the line for you, but thank you.
Trying to take my job. No, here's the thing. I got home at 3 minutes to 8, and my wife had everything all set up perfectly, the table, everything. And I popped my computer on, and it had to go through all the gyrations of booting up, which normally it doesn't. I never shut it down completely. I always put it on sleep. But what'll happen is the battery will run out, and then it had to reboot. And then it goes through all the 5 billion trillion files I have. And so, therefore, it's 806. Yeah.
I'm finding the same thing with both of my laptops now. My ancient laptop, my old Dell, which has no battery. I have to plug it in to use it. There's no battery on my Dell laptop. That takes a little while to boot up nowadays. And now my Lenovo or whatever you want to pronounce it.
Lenovo,
that one's taking longer to boot up now too, which definitely makes a guy nervous.
Okay. Well, this is my limited computer knowledge. I know why that happens. It's because you got a billion files that it's got to go through and check everything.
Yeah.
If you compress your files or delete files you're not using, it'll make it. Yeah. But then put them in a zip file or do whatever you have to do. Compress them. Put them all in folders. That way it checks the folder instantly. It's quicker, a lot quicker. So that's what I have to do. I have to put everything in folders.
Try the folder thing. I've deleted as many things as I could. It's got as few things on it as but it also has 40,000 songs on it for my gigs and stuff.
That's the other thing too. If you've got a lot of songs, that's actually taking up hard drive space.
And that's what I'm trying to get rid of the most of. It's like, okay, what songs do I never play? What's on here that's been old and it just it's just not used.
And you can also put those songs on a not a thumb drive. You could do it on a thumb drive too, but I have all mine on a external hard drive, and so I've probably got 200,000 songs on a hard drive.
Whew. It's a lot of music. Hey, so I don't have a whole ton of shout outs this week so we'll get to our in-crowd guests here in just a couple minutes. I do want to shout out. Oh, come on back, Tom. I do want to give a quick shout out to the great folks at Backyard Bar and Grill. Had a great meal there this week, and they always do cool things for, I think it's every Tuesday night. They do something for a local not-for-profit. They're almost always supporting a local not-for-profit one night a week or two nights a week, where part of the proceeds, part of their profit of that night goes back to the not-for-profit of choice. And I didn't catch which one was there this week, but I wanted to give them another shout out and thank them for what they do there. Took a mini informational online Zoom course this week regarding Chat GPT. And if you haven't heard about Chat GPT yet, trust me, you will. This is basically an artificial intelligence platform that they're trying to be careful with because, well, it's one of those things where students might start using this to write essays, and its intention is to be used for things like blog posts and advertising and stuff like that. But in the school realm of things, it's possible that someone could use it to ask the artificial intelligence Chat GTP program, write me an essay on the history of Martin Luther King Jr. In the style of Jimmy Fallon, if you want it to be funny. And it will do that for you. Tell it how many words you need and all this stuff. It's really an interesting and almost scary kind of a platform to think about the possibilities of what could be done with this. So we talked, there you are, Tom. Reboot.
I have no idea what happened. My computer just went. It went without saying good night.
We talked about deep fakes on the show a while back. Remember deep fakes? We showed that Tom Cruise video that wasn't really Tom Cruise.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. So I look at Chat GPT similar to something that you maybe like a deep fake thing, except you're not looking at faces and videos. It's just words. So it's easier to deep fake with just words, right? Someone else can write the whole thing. Someone else can write the essay or the poem or the song lyric or the web post or the blog post or whatever. And it might be hard to decipher just if it was really written by a human or this program. So I say all that just to say, be cognizant of that fact that it's out there, and you might start seeing things that make you kind of do what your dog does when you tell her it's time to go out for a walk. What? Really? You tell me that?
Yeah. Well, it can be dangerous too, because you could use the voice technology to say, hey, honey, can you go ahead and put $200 in an envelope, put it in the mailbox. I got to go buy something real quick and I'll be home. I'll grab it out of the mailbox and, oh, okay. Well, hey, bring home milk, bread, and eggs. Oh yeah, I will.
Yeah.
And it could be used for
You want to
nefarious.
confirm. You want to confirm things in a platform that you completely trust before you just go and start doing things willy-nilly. It's not. You got to be careful. You got to be careful these days
Yeah.
with this technology that's out there. And yeah, so there's that. Last couple things. Shout out to Coronado Theater for how they handled last night's Book of Mormon sold out show. Lots of great staff and folks making things work as best as they possibly can. It was a madhouse at Coronado last night because it was a sold out show. And if you've ever been to Coronado before for an event, it's a cool place to be for any event. When you're there for a sold out show, it's another step up. There's something electric about being in any facility that's sold out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they handled everything really, really well. And kudos to all of the Coronado Performing Arts Center staff and volunteers that make shows happen in the heart of downtown Rockford. Last shout out before we get to other stuff here is before we get to INCROWD. Today is the celebration of life service for that Guilford High School teen that died in the car wreck about just under 2 weeks ago. Ryan Sherman's celebration of life services today, and judging by the last night's visitation, there will not be an empty seat in the church today. So I'm not going to necessarily promote where that celebration of life service is. If you don't know Ryan Sherman, you don't need to go to this anyway. It should be just friends and family. It was an amazingly huge show of support to the family last night at the visitation. Thanks to all who came out there and showed the Sherman family your love. And I mean, it's tough enough to lose someone unexpectedly, but to lose a 17-year-old kid.
I know.
It's just, it really hurts something terrible. So
it's something that 99% of us will never have to deal with.
Yeah.
And probably more than 99, 99.98 or whatever. But for those who have had to deal with it, I know personally people who have had to deal with it, best friends who have lost their kid or whatever. It's gut wrenching. It's absolutely gut wrenching. Parents aren't supposed to outlive their kids, and especially at 17 or anything like that. And then the suddenness of it all. Is that a word? Suddenness?
Right.
Just you get that call. It's like, oh my God, my life just changed forever,
Mm-hmm.
And so, and the show of support that comes out, I know it's hardly solace, but the show of support when you come and say, hey, I empathize. I'm with you. I'm so sorry for your loss. Just to know that there are people out there that are thinking of you and caring and praying, and it helps. It really helps. So
and everyone, everyone wants to do something, and everyone wants to say something, that is very meaningful and whatnot. And really, the best thing you can do for a family like this usually is just to show up, just to be there, just let them know you're there for them, and that all you can do. So again, it was a wonderful show of love to the Sherman family last night, and thanks to all those who volunteered and made that happen at the church, because it was a long line to give condolences to the family last night. We have the INCROWD this week, and let's bring in our buddy John Berlin and our hosts for Roger, let's see if we can all get on here in the screen. There we go. Now we're all on the screen. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have INCROWD for 2023 ready to get off and running, John. And our first spot is a pretty convenient location, so we should have a good turnout, right?
Oh, we most definitely would. And, it's great to be back. It's great to be kicking off 2023. And, it seems like we've got a little bit more interest this year as we start opening up more and more and more. People are looking to do more and more things again. And, I couldn't think of a better way to kick it off, than going over to with Roger as he's taken over operations of what was my real estate group. And I'm not going to steal Roger's thunder and letting him share everything, but it's been a great transition, great things going on, and a great addition to the community. So, as I said, I couldn't think of a better way to kick things off this year.
Yeah, thanks for hosting, Roger. Tell us a little bit about your place there and how to find you and all that good stuff. What to expect on Thursday?
So the setup for Thursday is 5:30 at the Mar Group Exit Really Redefined, 4174 North Prairieville Road. So we're just north of the car dealerships, and everybody knows or seems to knows where Jack's Pub is. We're right next door to Jack's Pub on Prairieville. So right off the expressway, right north of Riverside. Great location. Looking forward to hosting everybody, having my first event with INCROWD. I know John and you and the gang have worked on it for many years, but I'm excited to be the host and to kind of be the guy that kicks it off for 2023. Networking is so important for us small businesses, just to hang out, stick together, help each other. I don't care if we're all realtors, if we're all insurance people, if we're all car dealers or whatever, just getting together and hanging out and helping each other as we continue to move forward is just an awesome opportunity. So I hope to have lots and lots of local businesses show up, drink some beer, drink some wine, eat a little bit of food, and meet your local business guy and gal who are struggling some days like you are. Maybe we can make some connections.
Absolutely, and that's the main thing right now is whatever might be going on with the economy, whether the economy's flying high or scraping the bottom, we can all stick together and make things work as we have these last few years. It's obviously this COVID curveball messed up a whole lot of things when it comes to small business owners, and those that have survived that, kudos for one thing. And the second thing, come on out and start networking with places and events like this to help grow your business, solidify your business. We want to meet you, know what you do. And as far as Thursday goes and the kickoff here, John, what would you say to encourage small business folks and maybe those that are even thinking about hosting for 2023?
Well, first off, if you're hosting, definitely get a hold of me right away. We're half full for 2023 so far. So, and I've got a couple things planned that we hadn't done in probably about 6-7 years. But definitely, as far as coming out, guys, we've got so many new businesses that have started up in the last couple of years. And, the best way to help a new business is to get your word out, come support. Our big thing is we are the largest free networking group in the Rockford region that try to go and help every single business owner that's out there. So, there's no cost to show up. There's, bring as many friends and family as you want, just so you get a chance to meet the business owners and new people. Definitely see what Roger's got going on over at Mauer. And, it's with our group, there's only two things that I ask you to do. And that's bring a smile and bring business cards. And the rest of it's going to fall into place from there.
Absolutely. Love those two rules. Those are my favorite two rules of networking. Bring a smile, bring you some business cards. You're probably going to meet at least one person, if not a handful of people that are going to need or want your service here in the near future. So come on out, hang out. Let's see what you got going on. And when it comes to real estate right now, guys, it's kind of nice to see that interest rates have kind of ticked back down a little bit, gotten back to a little bit more of a palatable place for a lot of the buyers that are out there. So I'm probably partly on purpose and partly in truth reading more optimism articles about the real estate market for 2023. What are you seeing, Roger? How are you feeling about the market here in the beginning of the year?
I am feeling optimistic like yourself. Let's remember that 6.7, 6.8 interest rates is our 20-year average. We got really spoiled with the 3.5%, 4%, right, the last couple of years. And everybody wants to compare what happens in 21 and 22, and we really can't, because those were just so unusual years for buyers and sellers. Let's look at 2018, 2019. Let's duplicate what we did then, and we're going to have a very successful year. We're going to make a lot of dreams come true. We're going to put a lot of people in homes. I keep saying our biggest issue is not having inventory, right? Because
Yeah.
the millennials or the millennials are the largest generation since the baby boomers, and they're finally leaving their parents' basement. They're finally getting married or creating partnerships and having babies, and they need their own homes. And the builders haven't built enough new units. And my mother's a perfect example. She's 89 years old, still living in a single family home by herself, except a couple days I stay with her, right? So people are staying in their homes longer. We're not building as many as we need. We all need to find people who want to sell. And it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great time to do it. We're going to continue to grow as an industry. I mean, I feel really good about it. So I'm excited to be in it.
I do too. You got to remind people, remember what the news articles were saying, especially in 2021, the news headlines. If you go back and review them all, it was talking about historically low interest rates. Okay, that means something. It was historically low in a situation we had never seen before and may never seen again. We don't know. But now that we're back to normal, we can look back on that history and realize those were very odd times. And if you were thinking of buying a house at the time and you didn't, okay, you probably should buy now and before the interest rates do go up again. If they do, we don't know what's going to happen with the economy in the next year. We don't know what the next worldwide situation brings us. So if your goal is to own a house, for goodness sakes, let's find one you can afford and buy it, because it's a great time to, real estate continues to be a great long-term investment. I've been following a lot of the articles on LinkedIn, and there are people trying to share their takes on the market. There's a lot of different ways you can go. One of the guys that I've been following, who I find to be a very nice, optimistic writer, his name is Orfe. He actually works for Zillow, and he's a senior economist with Zillow. I was hoping to have him on the show, guys. And when I invited him, he said I had to get it cleared through corporate. Can you guess what Zillow said to my request to have him on our show? That'd be a big goose egg on that one. He wanted to do it, and then Zillow said no. So there's one more reason to not like Zillow.
Why wouldn't they want the publicity?
I know.
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't care.
They haven't made a lot of sense in the last couple of years if you look at their business model. So
yeah. So the good news is this guy, I probably agree with about 90% of what he writes, and he writes something just about every day on LinkedIn. So if you're looking for someone to follow, I might encourage you to follow him, even though he works for the big bad Zillow company. Any final thoughts you guys want to toss out there before we let you go on as far as Thursday goes at INCROWD?
We'll have plenty of food. We'll have plenty of people. Come out and be part of the INCROWD. I'd love to meet you. I'm kind of new to the Rockford metro area. Only been there since July, right? So I'm a suburban Chicago guy and a LaSalle County guy. So I'm looking forward to making a lot of new friends in Rockford. So come on out, shake my hand, meet me. And we're just going to have a good time. I'm all about having fun and a relaxing event. So
good deal.
I was just going to say, everybody needs to come out and get a chance to meet Roger and talk with him, because like I said, he's a lot of fun. He's looking to, do a lot of great things in the Rockford region, and, kind of glad to partner up with Roger on some things. And just like I said, I couldn't think of a better way to actually kick off 2023, by starting out there. And, you're going to, and Greg, you've already hit on, you're going to see a lot of things happen in the real estate market this year. And that's it. Let's go out. Let's have fun. Let's, invite a lot of different business owners to show up and see what's really going on in the Rockford region, because there's a lot to offer. And, over and above the negativity that this area gets, there's a lot to offer here.
Absolutely. So if you know where Dolphin Swim Club is, or the Carlson Ice Arena is, right next door to Jack's Pub, you're going to find Mauer Real Estate. And I imagine the sign hasn't changed yet, so it'll still say Mauer out front.
It still says Mauer out front.
Good deal.
We love the legacy of Greg, and he's a great partner. So that's not going away soon.
You got it. Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for coming on here today, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Thursday at the INCROWD.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Greg and
Have a
Tom.
good
Appreciate
day.
it. John, have a great day.
You too,
There's
guys.
John and Roger with the INCROWD, and we are looking forward to that this week. Good morning to Joann over at PAWS headquarters.
Good morning, Joann.
How are you this fine day? All nice and cozy and warm at PAWS?
Yep. Seems
Coming
good.
up.
One of the quieter days.
I was going to say, did you, what happened to all the dogs you had?
We opened the door and said, run home, run home.
And there they went. They all found homes.
Yeah.
So, good deal. Well, hey,
We sent them home with fosters.
yes.
Oh, good, good. Dogs seem to go quickly. It's the kitty cats. Of course, there's an overabundance of cats. I mean, you've always got 20, 25 cats. And then you get dogs in, 5, 7, 10 dogs, and then they're gone within a week.
And a lot of times we bring in puppies, and puppies go quick.
Yeah.
Well, we've got, before we get to all things PAWS, let's go through our randoms here for today. And the SMS info is unofficially brought to you by All True Eyes. Yes, the app that enables volunteers to track and verify and maintain their own community service data for a lifetime. Check out the All True Eyes app in your app store. And good news, Tom and Joann, you both and I and all of us this week, we survived the unhappiest day of the year. I think we talked about this last year. January 16th is the unhappiest day of 2023. They call it Blue Monday. An expert in seasonal disorders first identified January as the most stressful month. And there's a formula that they use that works out the worst, most depressing day of the year. And this year it was Monday, January 16th. The formula considers weather, the bad weather, the debts owed after the holidays, the amount of time it takes before most people abandon their New Year's resolutions. And it's a Monday. It's usually like the third Monday of the month of January, second or third month Monday. And so congratulations. You made it past Blue Monday. Give yourself a pat on the back.
Martin Luther King's. There was no school that day, so the kids should have all been happy.
They should have been happier. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. That's the day we celebrated it. So
now, I don't know if you caught the fact that the Chicago Bulls played a game this week in Paris.
Yeah,
they were in Paris. It was the first time since Jordan's Bulls were there in 1997. The NBA, the league, has seen an explosion of international players. Back in 1997, there were 29 international players on the opening day rosters of NBA teams. This season, 120 from 41 different countries, and it accounted for about a third of all players. Not only that, two of the very, very best in the NBA are international players these days. You got Nikola from Greece. He's on the Dallas Mavericks.
And Luka Doncic.
And Giannis.
Okay, Luka Doncic is on the Dallas Mavericks. And he is maybe the best. Giannis from Greece, yes. Who was the other one you said?
Nikola Jokic? Jokic?
You're not wrong about him, but he plays for Denver.
He plays
Yes, and he is also another one. So you got three that are absolute bona fide superstars. Luka Doncic will probably be the MVP this year. I think he will
probably be the MVP.
He's having an incredible year. And then Giannis won it 2 years in a row the previous 2 years. So.
And Nikola won it 2 years. So the last 4 MVP awards came from international players in the NBA. And this year shouldn't be any different. So,
and this is a league where you've got Steph Curry still around. You've got Kevin Durant still around. You've got James Harden, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James. I mean, you still have a bevy of superstars. And for these foreign players to come over here and do that, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
There's more talk about the NFL expanding to an international league. But the truth is the NBA is the one that's most poised to become a true international league. I mean, the players, you don't have to build great big stadiums.
No.
it's totally more poised to become a true worldwide basketball league should they decide to go in that direction. But there's definitely been more talk about the NFL expanding into Europe and something like that. We'll see how that all plays.
Yeah, that's quite the undertaking because of because how rugged the sport is. You've only got 17 games, a lot of travel. Travel takes a toll on you. You got injuries, you got this, you got that. Basketball and baseball as well, because you could do baseball. You could have teams in the Dominican Republic. You could have, which would be a boom to the. I mean, absolutely.
I think it's very possible in our lifetimes we're going to see a true World Series where teams from all over the world actually play in the World Series, and the NBA also could have some sort of global championship. I don't know that we see that in the NFL. I just don't know that they can make American style football big enough in Europe and across the globe to truly have a world champion, but who knows? We'll see.
Well, I guess the difference is this. If you were a basketball team and you travel over to Europe, you could play 3 or 4 games, take about 2 weeks, and then come back. You could do that. Everybody could do that. It would be logistically, it would work. But for an NFL team, if there was an NFL team, let's just say London had a team, every week, either London comes here to play or someone goes there to play.
Right.
Every single week, you've got jet lag and you've got everything else going. And what if you had to play a Thursday game or a Monday night game or something like that? And you get back from London on a Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. or whatever, and you got to turn around and play a game on Sunday. And wow, that would be a logistical nightmare. And I think the NFL understands that. That's why they're doing a game here and a game there. I think Roger Goodell really wants to have the NFL expand into Europe and this and that. He wants to have his his legacy essentially on the NFL, so that he can say, "I did that." But I think it's a bad move, a very, very bad move.
A team in Germany, a team in London, a team in France, a team in Spain. I mean, that would be cool, but
you would be traveling 5 or 6 times a year. Because if you had a division where you're going to have it in separate divisions, I'm sure, or maybe you would have the same division, but either way, someone's traveling every week. And in some cases, you'd probably just stay over there for a couple of weeks because you got to play Germany this week. Well, next week we're playing France. So why come home and then go back? We'll just stay here. So, that's just crazy.
We'll see how that all plays out. Something that was kind of a bit of a shocker this week is Amazon decided to get rid of its charity donations program, Amazon Smile. We talked a little bit about that on this show back in the day. It started in 2013, and Amazon Smile was a situation where instead of logging on to Amazon.com, you could log on to smile.amazon.com, I think is what it was, and then choose the charity you wanted to support with your purchases. And I thought it was a pretty brilliant idea. I used it myself when I remembered to use it. That was part of the problem, is just remembering to go to the specific, URL site to get it to work. But whenever I made Amazon purchases on my phone, that's usually when I forgot about it. When I used my personal computer to do it, then I remembered to go to the right website to do that. Well, they're axing this program, and their reasonings quote that the impact it had hoped and to spread donations didn't happen as much as they hoped. It was too thin. They called it too thinly. I don't know why. Amazon said it's donated about $500 million to U.S. nonprofits since they started in 2013. The average donation to charities was under $230. Okay, so the company said it's continuing other charitable efforts, including funding natural disaster relief programs and affordable housing initiatives. In 2015, just in the year 2015, the Amazon Smile Foundation donated about $12.8 million, and that was 0.00012% of Amazon's $99.1 billion in retail sales that year. So it's not like they were throwing a ton of money out, but it was helping a lot of small not-for-profits, and it's a really kind of a bummer that they're disbanding it. change their
It's
mind.
a bit of a red flag for me. I mean, if you're donating, you said earlier 500 million total.
In
Is that
total,
right?
over the 9 years.
Oh, okay, that's pretty doggone good. $500 million.
Yeah.
No, listen, if you're going to do an advertising campaign, hi, I'm Bob with Amazon. We've donated over $500 million in the last 9 years with Amazon Smile. People are their eyes are going to bulge. $500 million. Even if it doesn't matter that it's 0.00012% of what they made, 91 billion, that doesn't matter. You donated $500 million to charity over a 9-year period. So that's a definite red flag. That's a lot of money. And any way you can. So the red flag to me, here's what I think. I think a lot of people donated to causes Amazon wasn't comfortable with. But I think. And
maybe
Amazon
that's
said, you know what, let's just. I'm sure because look, it doesn't work out that way. If you're going to say, well, we're not donating enough money, 500 million over 9 years. What were you hoping for? $1 billion over 9 years? Come on, give me a break. No, there is no way that the program's not working if you just donated 500 million in 9 years. There's no way that program. Ask the United Way if they'd like 500 million in 9 years. Ask the Red Cross. Ask any of them. Ask Walmart if they'd like that much in donations over a 9-year period.
You're probably onto something with that as far as there's probably not-for-profits being supported that they didn't want to support, and they were like, we can't be choosy. So anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But
rather than say, well, we can't do that one and that.
They don't have a list. You make up your own like I know PAWS was involved in that we got money from Amazon.
Yeah. And it's not like it had to be thousands of dollars, even a few $100s here and there was a wonderful thing.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I don't know. I talked to Sue one time about it, how much we actually got from Amazon for the Amazon Smile, and it was never a lot.
No, but it was something, and it was nice. Yeah. And I don't know. It kind of stinks. I think Tom's onto something. They probably didn't want to be like a lot of these social media sites that have to try to police all these things now. It's like, oh, okay.
Make sure we support it.
Yeah, all of a sudden we got to start picking and choosing, and that gets to be very, very time consuming. And yeah, so anyway, that happened this week. As far as Rockford stuff goes right now, if you go to GoRockford.com, you'll see this is one of the lesser busy weekends. Of course, I think this was supposed to be Illinois snow sculpting competition weekend. Of course, that's been pushed back to February because there's no snow. But you can go indoors at the Nicholas Conservatory and Gardens and check out the Sinisippi Station model train exhibit. That is there through January 29th. So you still got a week to do that. And then next weekend, it'll be all done. So if you haven't seen it yet and you want to, I'm hearing great reviews about the trains and trolleys and all of the other cool, small Rockford specific things they put along the tracks and such. That's all happening at Nicholas Conservatory and Gardens for one more full week, and then it is done.
And any idea how, well, you might have said, I might have missed it. How much is that to get in?
The normal admission fees for the conservatory. So whatever that is, I don't know if it's $5 or $7 for adults or something like that. Yeah, it's the normal fees.
That's an incredible place. There or something. One thing that just randomly, I'll throw this out there: Discovery Center. We've taken the boys, my grandsons, to the Discovery Center the last 2 or 3 weeks out of the last 4 or 5. We've been there 3 times in the last month or so. Anyway, what an incredible place that is. Absolutely incredible. But I strongly encourage you to load up on headache medication.
It can get noisy in there, can't it?
Kids are running around and you got things popping and all kinds of stuff. But it is a lot of fun. The boys just absolutely love it. We say, you want to go to the Discovery Center, and they're jumping up and down. Yeah, we want to go.
Absolutely.
And also, before we move on, I have one thing I want to ask Joann. And
yes,
and I can't remember what it was now. No, I had it earlier. Let me go on. I got to think about it. It was something about cats and dogs, and I can't remember what it was now. So never mind.
Oh, all right.
I should have written it.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah, it will.
let's see. Randoms for this week, things you didn't know yesterday. I don't have the article in front of me, but the United States is going to need a lot more electricians, like a lot more electricians. So if you have a young person in your house and they're kind of confused and not sure what they want to do with their career path, and they are okay with working with their hands and can heed safety warnings and stuff like that, they might want to look into being an electrician, because there's going to be really good money in being an electrician, especially in the U.S. here in the long-term foreseeable future. We talked already a little bit with Roger from Exit Realty about U.S. mortgage rates. They've actually fallen to their lowest level since September, and I guess you could technically say we're in a bit of a down market right now. History shows in a down market, it's more of a buyer's market. So this might be a great time to invest and buy your house. So if you were on the sidelines because of rising rates in late summer and early fall, now's the time to get back in. The rates are back to normal, if you will. Are either of you familiar with the Atala cross? Have you ever heard of the Atala cross? It's an amethyst and diamond pendant that was worn by someone famous who's no longer with us. Neither one of you, does that ring a bell? It didn't for me either until I read this.
No.
Someone famous bought the Atala cross at auction this week for $197.4 thousand, almost $200,000 for this piece of jewelry. Any guesses as to who the buyer or the previous owner or wearer of this jewelry was?
Princess Diana.
Good guess. You got it?
No.
Bing, bing, bing. Princess Diana wore this.
I was going to say Mother Teresa.
She was the wearer of the
I
Atala
don't think Mother
cross.
Teresa wore jewelry
Probably.
like that.
Probably not.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I want a point. Put a point down for me.
Yeah, sure. So who
Sure.
who bought it?
So the purchase, this is going to be a goofy screen. I'm going to try it anyway. All right, share screen, share the window. The purchaser, the one and only Kim Kardashian. $197,453. There's a picture there of the beautiful cross sold at Sotheby's London Royal and Noble Auction. It is a beautiful piece. The purple amethyst.
I think Kim bought it for my birthday.
You might be getting that for your birthday, so you might want to keep an eye.
My birthday is in February, and the amethyst is the birthday stone. So Kim thought I would really love it.
It would really match your eyes.
You and Kim are close, huh?
Yeah. Something
Very
we can
close.
probably afford. Go ahead, Tom.
Well, I remember what I was going to ask Joann now.
Okay.
How close Kim and I are.
Yeah, exactly. Furry babies. I mean, I don't want to disparage furry babies or anything like that, but I was talking with somebody the other day, and they were talking about getting a puppy from Furry Baby. I was like, are they still around? Yes, they are still at Churchville Mall. They're expensive, aren't they? I don't understand that. I thought they were not allowed to operate anymore because they're quote unquote puppy mills, or am I wrong on that? Like I said, I don't want to disparage.
I don't understand why they're still operating.
What I didn't understand is why are they? What are they, like $2,000, and you're only renting the puppy?
You rent. I think they do. It's kind of like what they finance the puppy,
right? It's a
boutique
store.
If you don't keep up with the payments, you end up paying, with interest. Like say you buy a $2,000 puppy and put it on time payments. You have interest in whatever. So we've already gotten puppies from Furry Baby that the people couldn't afford them anymore.
Wow.
Because the finance charges and stuff. That's kind of, and they are puppy mill puppies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
health issues and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious about that.
Good
I don't know.
question. Something we can
never
actually
walked
afford.
in there. I don't know, but they are. I mean, Cherryville Mall. Although when I'm right down there now, but the traffic doesn't seem as like it used to be.
I was actually surprised at how many people were there. The last time I was in the mall, there was way more people in there that I'd ever seen in years. So the weekend crowds are back at the malls, and it is what it is. So,
well, it's a beautiful place, and I don't get out there very often. I don't
buyer beware as always. Buyer beware.
Uh-huh.
Molson Coors. We all know what Molson Coors makes.
Here.
They're getting into the non-alcoholic cocktail game. They've got a new line of zero-proof canned beverages they're calling Roxy. We talked about on this show a while back about the dry bars that were becoming popular before COVID, and then they kind of hit the wall with COVID. But those are coming back, and places where you can have a bar-like atmosphere and not have to think much about all the alcohol side effects of the bar-like atmosphere. And here's a line of drinks coming out from Molson Coors called Roxy, with fancy cocktails with pineapple and cranberry and whatever flavor you like, but no alcohol. So we'll see how this Roxy brand of non-alcoholic drinks does amongst all these others that are coming out. And then finally, would you rather visit a random street on Street View on Google Maps, or would you rather watch prize-winning husband callers doing their thing in Iowa? We're gonna cure people's boredom with one of these two things. Which would you vote for, Tom and Joann?
I would rather sit home and watch football and do neither of those two. Do I have to pick one?
So I get to just sit home and quilt, right?
Random Street View on Google Maps or prize-winning husband callers?
I would have to just
Random Street View on Google Maps.
Callers.
Ooh, it's a split. All right. So if you go to this really fun site on MapCrunch, it takes you, no joke, to a random street view on Google Maps. Here we are. Let's see, where are we? In Mexico. This is Pabantha de Olarte in Mexico. This is the street view. There we go. Now we can see whatever. VER Mexico. The Riva Placido. Okay, fun. Where else will you take us today? How about Dochula Thimfu? I don't even know where this. How crazy is this? Random Google Street Views. Oh, that looks cool. Let's see what's. There's my new car.
Yeah.
I don't even know what company. This says the Thimpu Sirang Highway in Dochula Thimfu. Is that maybe Thailand or something? I don't know where that is.
Well, I was going to say it almost sounds like Vietnam or something like that. Maybe Laos, maybe. I don't know.
Let's go to USA and find a USA place. This is Virginia. Mechanicsville, Virginia. So it just takes you to these random street views, which, if you've ever used this before, it's pretty handy. I like to tell my real estate clients, especially those that aren't from the area, before you come drive into Rockford and you find a house you want to check out, go to Google Street View and just tool around with it. Take a look at the neighborhood. Save yourself some gas.
So you can pick and choose. Like I can put my own address in and find my house.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Put your address in there.
Somewhat when I had to do home visits for dogs, I would look up the address to just see the house, which would be, you'd be able to find it easier.
Right.
Now we
Well,
lost
this is
Tom because he's picking up his house.
I'm going to copy this link, put this in the chat, because I think someone will spend hours on this week and then they'll hate me for it. It's one of those fun things that MapCrunch does. Just takes you to a random Google Street View. All right, Joann, what do you say we do all things pause for a while?
Sure. You know,
What do
we're
we
kind of running down. I was just looking, you know, now it's a month away from Fur Ball. So we're going to be getting crunch time.
Cool. Well, get your tickets for Fur Ball. It's Saturday, February 18th.
Go ahead.
What?
I already turned up the site. Tom sent me his address.
Oh, okay.
He wanted us to look up his house.
I was gonna say,
I'll let you do that on your own.
Yeah, I want to see my house.
I actually did that with my home, and it was kind of with my parents' home. It was kind of funny because you realize what date it was that my mother would have still been alive on that date.
About 3 weeks ago. About 3 weeks ago or so, the Google Street View vehicle went by my house, and I was walking the dog at the time, and I was like, "Oh, I should have struck some goofy pose while walking the dog, and maybe I would have ended up on Google Street View."
Well, it would have been funny if your dog was doing his business, her business.
I think she was actually when it drove by. I'm not sure though.
I have to mirror this. Let me see.
Stack. How many stacks have we given away? Oh, there you go.
The Bjorn dog has been.
I don't remember that dog, so I'm not sure what that dog was. But we've got like several cats that went as pairs. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 15 cats. Well, we're halfway through the month, so we're a little low compared to what we had in December. December's a big month, though.
Busy month for adoptions.
Yes. January gets a little slower. Ooh, these are beautiful cats.
Where'd you go? There you are.
There. I'm sorry, I was moving a volunteer. Just fluffy black cats. Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. I have to go back and find out their names. Are they young? A year old. Fluffy black cats.
Wow. Oh my God.
I love this. You can shut it. Or finish. Beautiful cats. He's got a wild look to his eyes. Hey, what's your name? He lost his name. In the community room. We're talking about the orange cats in the community room again. They're both kind of in the back. Well, this is not a cat, but they're working on the PAWS donations for Fur Ball. So it kind of can see got a lot going. So do you have donations?
I'll get it there soon.
Yeah. You can bring them over to PAWS during their open hours. So, trying to keep up. It's just a month away now, so it's kind of exciting.
Woo-hoo.
quiet day today. Oh, these two are embraced in battle. Let me go.
Found something more interesting.
So.
And of course, if you want more information on PAWS, give them a call, 815-299-PAWS, 815-299-7297, or their awesome website, pawshs.org. Pawshs.
Inside our website has just been updated, so it should be exciting and new. I haven't looked for a while, but
check it out. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to our...
Oh, it is almost...
It's big number of the week time. Let's do this. Our big number of the week this week is 1.7 million. And the answer is crisis or continent. Crisis or continent. 1.7 million, our current race to 10 score. As Joann leading by 1, it's 2-3 in the new year race to 10. All right, guys, give me your answers. What do you got for me? Crisis or continent? 3, 2, 1, go.
Crisis.
Oh, you're both going with the crisis. Hello. All right. So,
we like to keep it even.
That's okay. That's okay. So, have either of you ever been to Australia?
Nope.
I have not yet either. It's one of those bucket list things, but it's way down on the bucket list. I'd like to go, but I'm not like a crazy have to go type of a thing. Australia is actually home to the world's longest fence. There's a fence on the continent of Australia called the dingo fence or the dog fence. It stretches over 3,480 miles across the continent of Australia.
Wow.
That's a fence. Apparently it keeps dogs out of some of the more civilized areas for the most part. I'm not real familiar with it, but...
Would that be dingo dogs?
Dingo dogs.
Indigenous to Australia. Learned that from Andy Griffith.
Dingoes.
I thought because the dingo took my baby.
Dingo, I got baby.
Maybe that's what the song was really all
Dingo
about.
was his name. Oh,
yeah, right. That might have been it. So congratulations. Yay, you both get a point. Ding, 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 ding.
Yay.
The brand new, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, which used to be a 10-digit number, is now just 988. They changed that about a year ago or 2 years ago. They spent $1 billion on the Suicide Crisis Lifeline, which is now 988. And in the first 5 months of its existence, 1.7 million calls came in. That's about 500,000 more calls than the old 10-digit number did in the same time a year prior to that. The also good news part about this whole change is the wait time to actually talk to someone went from 3 minutes down to 36 seconds. That's huge. That is huge. So someone having a crisis or having suicidal thoughts and wanting to talk to someone, they don't have to wait 3 minutes to talk to somebody anymore. If you call 988, you're probably going to talk to someone within about half a minute. All right. I think we've reached the end of our time, everybody. Any final thoughts before we let y'all go?
Watch some football today and enjoy it. That's
right. 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow. This is always an exciting football weekend because you've got the final 8, usually the best teams in all of the NFL playing. So, theoretically, there should be some really good football on TV today and tomorrow. We'll see how that pans out. No predictions. I will say this, though. You change the world when you help one person, so be a blessing to someone today. We'll try to do the same each and every day this week and meet you back here for another Saturday Morning Stateline Show. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too.